No, I just wanted to say I disagree with Osam a bit. Like what Enzo Maresca did is actually what he said is actually good. I actually disagree with what Osam said. I think him saying that I will manage the players, that I manage the players that I want at the club is actually the right move. The people to call out here are the board that gave Raheem Sterling that contract and signed him from Man City. It's not Enzo Maresca's job to pat anybody on the back at the team. And he's sending a message to all the fans that not because the player has a contract, they will play. I disagree with Terry in terms of the technicals. I think Raheem Sterling is the most overrated player ever in the English football history. This is my opinion. He benefited massively. I've said that many times. He benefited massively from the system of Pep Guardiola. No, not actually Jack Grealish. Raheem Sterling benefited massively. Some people put Raheem Sterling in top 10 wingers in the history of the Premier League. That's what I call overrated. He's the most overrated player ever in the history of the Premier League. What Chelsea doing for Sterling as a board, putting him aside, might be disrespect. But Enzo Maresca is not obligated to coach anyone who doesn't want to play, by the way. He isn't.
True.
That's actually, by the way, that is actually opposing to what we all thought, that Enzo Maresca is just a yes man. I'm not sure if Enzo Maresca is doing this to please the board, but Enzo Maresca said it out loud. I am only coaching the player that I have in my plans. I am not coaching the others. You sort that out. And also, I want to say something that.
So, Mo, let me ask you a question on that quickly, Mo. So, do you think this is Enzo Maresca's decision, or do you think the board are saying we need to sell the academy players to balance the books, and we need to get rid of the players on the higher wages? So, which side of the argument do you think?
I don't know. I don't think I know. I don't know.
But what's your opinion? I don't know either. But what's your opinion?
My opinion is Raheem Sterling is a horrific player and doesn't suit the system of position-based football. I'm telling you, Raheem Sterling does not suit that system that Chelsea want to play, and he isn't technical enough to fit in that squad. Neto is better than him. I actually think Madueke, at the current moment, is a better player than him. So that's why, if you ask Mo's opinion, I would have done the same as Maresca. You want to tell the money involved? Maybe. Because there is another aspect that people forget. You want to sign Osimhen, you have to lower your wage bill to be able to include someone like Osimhen in.
But this is
something important.
I think if they get rid of these players on big wages, then go and get Osimhen, who's got to come in on 250 minimum. If they do that, then I think it goes a long way to answering the questions. They're not just getting rid of Raheem Sterling to lower the wage bill to recoup money. They're doing it to reinvest in the team. If they get rid of Raheem Sterling and Chalobah and Chilwell, these guys on big money,
we are a Google, yes, okay,
yeah. And then I think that's and it's also this, and I'll say this to everybody that's defending Maresca. The reason why I think it's potentially wrong to speak the way he has done is if your club don't get rid of the players, because then you have these 10, 15 players in the training ground. Yes, they're not doing the sessions with you. Every day, disgruntled, frustrated, rightly or wrongly, that's a bad work environment.
But I'm going to respond to you in a bit. I'm going to respond to you.
No, you can respond now. That'd be my concern for them.
Yes,
if they don't get rid of them.
Okay, hear me out. Okay, so Terry said the truth. It's not good to talk about your players, especially your assets that you want to sell. However, Raheem Sterling is a special case. Why? Raheem Sterling is a big player. In the English football, he's a big player, right? Once he wasn't included, he and his camp spoke publicly against Maresca and Chelsea. So they had to respond. There is a difference between if Maresca came out of nowhere.
True, very true.
Like what does that make sense? Like what Ten Hag said, okay, Sancho doesn't train well. Sancho didn't say anything against you. But Raheem Sterling literally, publicly, and Fabrizio reported, said, I want clarification. Maresca said, here you go, my friend.
So he's had the clarification. No, so you're absolutely right about that. But the point still remains. Who went first is almost irrelevant. If they have now made their stance clear, they've obviously made their stance clear privately. They then made it publicly because of Raheem Sterling. I'll concede that 100%. I don't have a genuine issue with it. I'm not a Chelsea fan. If they don't get rid of these players now and they're sitting in that dressing room, and then if things don't go well on the pitch, that's where it can all start going, when it can all start going wrong. And I think that's why I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but equally this idea that is the perfect strategy. We'll see. I don't think anyone can make those claims right now because there's so much going on. There's a
But let
super
me just
chat here.
add one point before you go.
Sorry,
into
go on, brother. Go on.
So Sam said to Chelsea 2 years ago, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you adding all these players without a strategy?" That is what happened. All the Guiwi and the players you signed from Brazil and Argentina, by the way, they still have
Some
to
of them
come
are
in and you
leaving
have to
already.
release more.
Some
Yo,
are leaving, you know this?
and I'm
Angelo
just saying,
Gabriel is leaving, and there's other players.
when
leaving.
I said that I think this project, I want this project to fail for people to not do the same, not because I hate Chelsea or anything, right? Chelsea for me is like, I like Chelsea. Chelsea broke the cycle of Man United and Arsenal back in the 2000s, right? But the way you run this project, and I'm gonna say this, if it worked, people would have done the same. People would have said, okay, flip for profit FC, let's do it. There are still a lot of players, about 3-4 players, if I'm not mistaken, that Chelsea signed. They still have to come into the squad next season. That means that limits your availability to sign more players next season as well. If you have holes in the squad, it's a dangerous game. It's very strange that Chelsea fans didn't see it 2 years ago when they cleared out the Koulibalys and everybody and kept signing and signing. And most of the Chelsea fans, and I'm hearing this, the last thing I'm going to say about this is that finally Chelsea fans saw the light and said, yes, we need a center back, but we're sorry, we actually have a lot of them, so we can't sign a center. You know that you need a center back, but you can't sign a center back because you have a lot of them. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to look at this, that you signed a lot of players that maybe are useless, are not good enough, or you were unlucky. That is the problem.
Yeah, and I'm not even looking at Maresca. I'm looking at the people upstairs because they made the same mistakes with about, 5-6 managers over the last 3 years. So I'm not looking at Maresca. I'm not even talking about Maresca. I'm talking about their ownership, Bowley, Iqbali, whoever the hell, Stanley Stewart. These are the guys that are at fault for me.
But this is what I mean by the fan base having like problems. And I think that it cognitive dissonance kicks in. They don't listen. Chez has just messaged me saying, Terry, why are you assuming that we are only getting rid of Sterling due to being the highest paid option? What if I told you he's declining, poor decision making, poor leadership? I didn't sit here and
why
say
they give him a
reason.
5-year contract then?
But even that, I've sat here and I think I have presented both sides of the arguments. That some are stating that this is a Maresca decision, doesn't see him as part of his team. There are others that believe this is being forced upon him. This is how you know a club's got problems, because they're not even listening when it comes to conversations about their club if they hear one element that they don't like. Because to even throw that question back at me after the beginning of this at 30 minutes and about 40 seconds is I've presented both sides of the argument, and I've said I find it very hard to give a forthright opinion. I don't believe the extremities that the club's all bad and all wrong. I'm not even saying it's completely wrong to do what Maresca has done. I'm stating that where the problems may lie is if you don't get rid of him and many others, and you've got all these disgruntled, angry senior players at your club for the next 6 months to a year, that can become poisonous. How do I know? We've had it at Manchester United. It was a big problem for us. So I'm just being balanced about this. I'm not going to sit here and say it's sunshine and rainbows chairs at Chelsea when it clearly isn't and hasn't been for the past couple of years. Also, I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with people that think Chelsea are finished, that Maresca's a dud manager and they can't turn things around. I think here is about applying balance. So I've had a lot of messages like that from people, and it's a case of, but you're repeating things that I haven't. You're almost taking one comment out of context or one question out of context. It's kind of strange to me, strange behavior. Sterling lost the number 7 to Pedro Neto.
That is disrespectful. That is disrespectful.
Before he's left the club, you mean?
Yes, of course. Before the guy hasn't left the club yet, you're taking his shirt from him.
But equally, all the Chelsea fans are saying this isn't disrespectful. You now have to maintain this energy. If Maresca decides I ain't playing Cole Palmer and then says at Christmas Cole Palmer's barely going to play, he doesn't fit my system. I'm just throwing it out there. You can't pick and choose the behavior. You can disagree with who he's kicking out. You can't complain about the behavior ever again. So any Chelsea fan stating, I like this ruthless mentality, you have to applaud it, even when it's towards a player that you disagree with who's being treated that way. When it's a player you like.
Fernandez soon.
If Enzo Fernandez gets out, you've got to say, do you know what? I love Enzo, but the manager's absolutely right to publicly state that he is not my player. He isn't good enough. and he's got to leave or he's not going to kick a ball. That's the only way I can take these Chelsea fans seriously that are saying the actions are right. Forget who it's towards. You know, we see that a lot in this world where we sort of love an action towards someone we dislike, but we would hate it if it happened to us, if that makes sense. It does happen a lot. Sign one club over sign, one club can't sign life. Okay, I get you on there. Mo, once again, can you teach these childish Chelsea fans how to spot and smell a... I don't know what it's meant to be. Yeah, okay, there we go. Right, okay. I don't even know what that's talking about. I call Sterling overrated and beneficiary of a system is shallow. I can also say Havertz is a beneficiary of Arteta's system, and so he is also overrated.
You can say that, my friend. You can say that. You can say Havertz benefit from the system at Arsenal. I don't. That's not bad at all. You can say Havertz is overrated.
Mo, once again, sorry, I already done that super chat. Sorry. The way Chelsea are treating their players is a disgrace, and karma will bite them in the arse. No doubt about it. Is what's been said here. So
I can't wait to raise the biggest middle finger to all the Chelsea fans this year.
but I want. By the way, after you finish super chat, remind me please to ask Sam one question, please.
Oh.
One question regarding that particular super chat.
Oh, okay.
After Chelsea, just out of respect for the super chatters. Go ahead, Terry.
Did Terry just lag out?
No. I was waiting for you two to finish.
What,
For me,
No, about respect to super chat, I'm going to ask Sam one last question on Chelsea, maybe out of that one super chat that you just showed Matthew.
Okay, yeah. Ask that question. Ask that question, then we'll do the super chat. Yes.
How do you think, Sam, they can fix the overinflated squad then for you?
They have to fix the overinflated squad by exactly what Carragher said. And by the way, people looked at once again with Jamie Carragher, and you could just tell when I say Chelsea fans are showing that they lack serious brain cells, I'm not joking, I'm being serious. Their responses to the Carragher video is all, oh my God, cry more, you're just jealous, you're just blah, blah. It's the same shit over and over again. But there are Chelsea fans who actually listen to what Carragher says and like, you know what, this guy's actually saying the truth about the football club. Number one, Chelsea need to stop signing players. Stop. At this point, just stop. Allow the players that you have gotten to develop, become better, so that they can become the players that you think that they will become. So that Cole Palmer becomes the best right winger, so that Neto becomes the best left winger, so that Enzo Fernandez becomes the best and Caicedo becomes the best and blah, blah, blah. So you have to give them time to develop. And you have to stick with Enzo Maresca because he's your guy now. So he's the guy that you hired to become the manager. You have to stick with him. You cannot sack him this season, even if you finish 10th. You've got to stick with him, show the whole world we're backing this guy, we're backing the plan, we're backing the idea, and we eventually think that we're going to get there. They need to stop signing anyone, and they need to get to selling players. I said, and you guys both know this, that selling Gallagher is the smart idea. I said that selling certain players, I even think selling Sterling is the smart idea. I've never said anything against that. There are players that they need to get rid of, but they need to stop signing now. So they should just stop signing players. And how they fix this mess is then if they do sign players, they need to be players in prime age who are ready to win now, players who actually upgrade everyone and elevate everyone around them, like an Osimhen, someone like that. Felix on a 7-year contract is not an indicator of a smart club.
This here says, as a Chelsea fan since 1989, I've seen it all here. You certainly have. Love the show and watch it daily. Sterling has played half-ass since the arrival as a Todd Bowley signing and doesn't track back on defense ever by Raheem, and good luck. And I agree. I think he's been a poor signing for Chelsea. That element I won't disagree with at all. It's just more seeing the reaction. Like there are certain Chelsea fans, I'm not even going to name them because I can't be dealing with it, having a debate about it. But they came on my shows during the Sancho thing and I went back and checked on the Clips channel. They made very unequivocal statements that at no point, no matter who starts it, should clubs be talking about their players in any which way other than positive in public. But today I've seen the person tweet regularly saying, I love that my club's treating the players I don't want like this. And that's probably more my issue. On a personal level today, that's where I'm like, man, you're showing your ass crack. But I'll save that. I've saved the super chats. I'll save the clips. One day I'll cook them, but I'm going to let them marinate for a little while first.